Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Breeders' Roundtable. Now, hi from Midgard Castle, Stacy from Midgard Morphs.
I've come to the outside now.
Are we allowed to exist outside? So, on that note, welcome to Breeders' Roundtable. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Tom.
And we're Midgard Morphs. Some gas.
I am
Tacboss, your
Tacboss,
turn.
and I approve this message.
I'm Riley with RC Family Exotics.
Welcome in.
I'm Kevin with Ozark Ball Pythons. I've switched my name back. There's a reason.
Okay. You'll have to fill me in.
I will.
Okay, yeah, definitely fill me in. But, okay, so the first big thing that I saw, reptile hobby. Are we shipping UPS now?
What?
Let me just throw that out there.
It looks like it's coming.
You're new here. Diamond, did you want to come up?
My big question is, where will that hub be?
Exactly.
So,
Well,
I was
see,
looking at Go ahead.
Go ahead, Midgard. Go ahead.
Oh, I was looking, and it was saying that there's going to be 5,000 locations that they're like working with all the UPS locations to accept reptiles.
Yep, that's what I read. All the UPS
Yeah.
stores that you drive by everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're going
close
to be
to
on
another
somebody's
3 hubs.
truck. So they're going to be on somebody's truck from the airport to one of 5,000 locations, and then finally get into a controlled atmosphere environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how are we feeling about this?
I'm not sure.
I'm real iffy
I'll
on
stick
it.
with I'll stick with FedEx.
Yeah.
They've got a good system. I'll stick with them. I'm definitely not going to go with UPS. I may eventually ship with UPS, but not right away. They got kinks to work out on that.
Yeah, I kind of want to see. I know Wolf Market was testing it, right? And they said they've been doing some test shipments, and they've been going great. But I mean, some test shipments out there is a little bit different than all of us sending snakes or any kind of reptile all at once in a new system. Like, I like the idea of having another option. I'm concerned, and I'm not saying that we won't do it. I want to see how it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Anthem, I know you're just getting in here. I kind of switched the topic to tonight to like current issues that are going on.
Surprise.
Because I'm having a crappy week and I didn't want to talk about incubation.
No, that's fair.
Even though I just finished incubation.
Ooh, yeah, I saw your eggs. Very exciting.
I'm in the middle
I
of
am
it.
so excited. Yeah.
I cut eggs 3 days ago and put eggs in there 2 days ago and waiting on 2 more females.
Nice.
Nice.
So, like, what are some of like? Okay, so I'm thinking like my concerns in general. Thank you, Jen. Was that from?
He was nosy.
Oh, it was Viper. Thank you, Viper. Jen's name popped up. Yeah, that was
Hey
sneaky.
Tom, guess what?
I think like the thing that's really making me nervous is just the newness. And anytime something's new, there's bound to be screw-ups, right? Like,
Absolutely.
that being said, FedEx hasn't been great either lately.
That's true.
We have a shipment coming in tomorrow, and it was dropped off, receipt sent to us dropped off at 3 o'clock. At 7:20, we got a notice that it was dropped off, but it also said at 7:19 it was moving facilities. So explain that logic to me. I'm like, where's the
What do you
snake?
want from Wingstop?
I don't want anything.
Okay.
thumbs down.
I don't know.
I don't know if I remember thumbs.
Yeah, so I think like we're kind of on the wait it out and see.
I've only
Not
market shipping, and I've been happy. It's through FedEx. I've been happy.
Blocking their internal.
What was that? Sorry, someone's loud.
I said I've only ever used FedEx and here recently been exclusively using the Morph Market shipping and I've been really happy. But I feel the same way. It's just like buying the first model of a new car. I'm not going to buy the brand. I'm going to wait until it's out 3 years and they've worked out all the kinks and all of that. So I definitely understand the hesitation.
No, that's like that's where I'm kind of at with it. Is like I've really liked Morph Market shipping. It's worked really well. It's saved us a ton of money. So I'm a big fan of it. But I want to like be willing to adjust with the times, obviously. But yeah, it is kind of that same thing. It's like, people started releasing electric trucks and we always buy trucks. And I'm like, I'm not ready to go down that route yet. Yeah. I want to have someone else test that out and see how it works pulling their trailer before we do it with ours,
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh. Oh, and Carrie, the reptiles they're testing, they're not actually using reptiles. What they'll do for test shipments is they'll label a box live animal. They'll label it, but they won't actually put an animal in there.
They might put some paper towel or a rubber snake in.
And generally they'll put like either a heat pack or a thing in there to measure how temperatures are staying, those kind of things. So they're not testing with live animals. Like that's not, they test it like it's a live animal.
Sorry.
Yeah, I saw some of those babies. 6, I sent you an invite if you want to come up. They're putting a GPS tracking device in them. That's how I'm going to start tracking all my snakes, is put a GPS tracker in the boxes and then just tell the customer to mail that back to me.
Yeah, with just a return shipping package label in there.
Right? Like I'm always going to know where my
what they should put in there is they should put like shock sensors and like temperature sensors and things like that to just guarantee that they can get them there without, using them for footballs and things like that.
See, that's a good idea.
Does anybody know where we could get those for cheap?
Yeah, someone can
No.
work that. No stress, X. Yeah, like if someone can work that out, some sort of engineer in the comments, work out how to get that kind of tracking information on boxes so we can submit that to the shipping companies and be like, hey, It looks like this box was chucked across a football field. Can you explain that to me?
Well, not just that, but like when UPS does their testing, they should incorporate that into their testing.
Yeah, because then they can at least train employees on that of like, just so you know. And if nothing else, like if Morph Market's doing the shipping or the testing, or if other reptile people are doing it, and then they give that information to them, then that's also some incentive where, UPS can be to their employees like, hey, the reptile people are a little crazy, and they will test your shipments, and they will absolutely make reports if stuff gets tossed around. I'm like, I'm okay if they think that we're a little crazy.
But you say I'm crazy?
No? Absolutely not. He asked if I was saying that he was crazy, and absolutely not. You're good.
I know better than that.
Could we use air tags? You know what? If I'm shipping, say, a $5,000 snake, I just might. There might be a cutoff on price point of like what I would throw the extra money in for, but I'm not.
If you're gonna ship an animal of that caliber, of that, There's only so much that you can insure and feel comfortable about. I want to know where that snake is every foot.
Yeah,
But you could always
exactly.
buy some air tags in bulk and offer that as an option. Would you like
Would you
them
like
in for
this?
tracking? Cost you $30.
Just put an
Yeah.
extra envelope with a return address on it, and postage paid, and hey, when you're done, drop me a review. Please put that back in the mail and send it back to me.
Yeah. Like those might be some random things that
And then I'll
I don't know. I'm like,
and then
it's
I'll
not something
refund
that I've
your.
ever talked about doing, but air tags only like only $30. Yeah, and so if you're like shipping a $5,000 plus animal, $30 might be worth it. I don't know. Random ideas. The other thing that was on my mind this week, y'all see the rescue snakes that got taken in by JR?
I did. They are so skinny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's not the only bad situation that came up this week with snakes. And like,
What are you? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
The word rescue here lately, is it just me, or does it seem like it gets thrown around and it's almost lost what rescuing an animal is truly?
Yes.
I hear most common thing I hear is, oh, I rescued a ball python. I rescued a ball python. I rescued a ball python. It's not. I don't know. A lot of the situations that people are saying they're rescuing is not a true rescue. That is a true
It is
rescue.
a true rescue.
That
And
is a
that's
true
not
rescue. And I think the
worst
JR
case I saw
situation
this
definitely is.
I think that the word rescue has lost its value, or lost part of its value.
Like people
I
say,
think that's-
"Oh, I rescued this ball python from PetSmart," when it was
No.
Yeah, that's not a rescue. You paid $300 for that animal. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't. So
Right.
that bothers me. But
Like-
I'm so glad that JR was able to take in those animals and work with them.
Yeah, but so here's my thing with it. So that wasn't even like the worst situation I saw this week. That one,
I had a
I
situation
don't think
happen
I
to me
can-
last night.
mm-hmm. But this is kind of like if you have a big collection of snakes, why the hell are you not feeding your snakes, people? Why are you not feeding them, or why are you putting them in situations? Yeah, I know. Or
One thing I've noticed, for whatever it's worth, people talk about this being an addiction, and in some ways, some of these people are buying snake after snake after snake without realizing that their food bill, their electric bill, their every bill is going up almost exponentially as they add these snakes on there, and suddenly they find themselves in a bind.
yeah,
And rather than admit they're in a bind and do something, they end up. I ran into a breeder who was trying to get me to buy some of the snakes. I didn't want them, and he wanted me to buy them. Wanted me to buy them at market price. These things hadn't eaten in several months, and he couldn't afford to feed them.
yeah, and that's
And
right there.
I told him, I'm like, look, I said, if you want to give those to me, I'll do my best to take care of them, but I'm not buying your snakes from you looking like that.
If you cannot feed your snakes, you're no longer in a point of selling your snakes. You're no longer in the point of running a business. At that point, you need to get rid of those snakes. Like that's what it comes down to. You're not going to feed them.
People
You get rid of them.
people having clutches with no experience with assist feeding, or having a food source on, a food source and a backup food source.
Mhm.
Because stuff goes wrong, and you may get a shipment that you don't like, and you're not willing to feed that to your animals. You may lose an entire colony. People don't think about that stuff.
Like, this is the thing.
Yep.
It's like everyone. Yeah, we were just talking about your situation. There's the other one. I don't know how to talk about this one on live appropriately, but I got one where it was a snake eaten by a rat. Real
It was bad.
real bad. I could
That
not
was
show
bad.
the pictures on TikTok. that level of bad. Um, and so there's been some real bad situations that I keep saying, right? And or keep seeing. And it's like, how can we get it through people's head to focus or to reach out for help if needed? Because at the end of the day, every time you take in, and I'm not talking about you rescued an animal from PetSmart, rescued an animal from PetSmart. I'm talking when we take in a rescue snake, most of them. Sometimes we get a snake that the person thought was real bad, and we get out there and we're like, oh, this is, like, yes, we'll take it in, we'll adopt it out to someone and take care of whatever the little issue is, and no big deal. But sometimes, but most of the time when we take in a rescue snake, it's at least $600 out of pocket to get that snake better, right?
Yep.
For every single one. So, by the way, for anyone that's in here, and if you're wanting to help out the snakes, JR, if you want to post your, the stuff to post in there, because so $600 per snake to rescue them just to keep them alive, right? Thinking about that. So at that point, why can you not just go, hey, I can't afford to feed these snakes. It's costing me $1 a week to feed each one, and I have 500 of them. I want to sell them all, but now they're starved. No breeder will take them from me. No one wants to buy them. Give them away. Give them away to someone who will feed them. Like, don't be so proud. Reach out and say, like, hey, I don't care what the
Here's another issue that Dracos brought up. Go ahead, Ozark.
No, you're fine. Hit it. Go ahead.
Here's another thing Dracos brought up, which was your situation, Midgard. But you don't need to be buying these things if you don't have any vet close enough to take them to if you have a problem. If your closest vet is 500 miles away and you're not willing to drive there, then you don't need to buy that snake or whatever reptile it is.
Like, be willing to, know how to do the stuff yourself, but be willing to go to the vet when it's time. Like,
everybody should, every keeper of any animal should have a first aid kit specific to that animal, and you should know your basics. There's too much knowledge, especially with TikTok and social media these days, to not have just a plethora of knowledge. If you just get on and listen and ask questions.
and
There's always somebody to talk to. There's always somebody to ask questions to.
How many of you guys have gotten calls from me when I take in a snake that is something is weird with it, and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Like,
what do you think? I have.
work with me on it. Like, I'm like crowdsourcing information. Like, everyone, give me an opinion here so we can come up with the answer.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if I think I know what's going on. If I'm questioning it, I'm calling 10 people, and I'm getting other opinion.
I get calls from people all the time.
But on this in the same sheet of music, be careful of who you're getting your information.
Yeah.
Never just.
There are people out there that think that they know what they're doing, and they will unalive your animal.
Facebook is not the place. Facebook is not the place.
Know your people that you're calling, or you have a conversation with them before that day, because if it's the first time you're ever talking to someone and you're reaching out to them hoping that they have the answer, but you have no idea where their knowledge actually lies, they're probably not your person, and that's okay.
Yep. Well, I had a situation happen last night. I was on Kinky's Live, and a person put in the chat, Ozark, I have a snake I want to send you. I'm like, you have snake? You want to send me? So I brought him up in the box, and this poor guy, it's a banana, and he's been fighting him not eating for 6 or 7 months now. And he was a juvenile that's now lost quite a bit of weight. He's not lethargic or
But
like
he's at that size where it matters.
and he said, I'm afraid I'm afraid he's just going to die in my care. I said, well, I can't promise you anything, but we made arrangements. I'm either going to pick it up from him in Kansas City either this weekend or next weekend.
Yeah.
And I like I told him, I can't promise anything, but I'll do everything in my power, including assist feeding or worse, to keep him alive and get him back on food.
Rat tails.
Uh-huh.
I got a male right now that I'm fighting. One of my breeder males. He's been off food 5 months now.
The easiest way to assist feed
5 months.
would be
Won't take an ASF, won't take a mouse, won't take frozen thawed, won't take live. I'm fixing to take him for a drive.
Do it.
The only thing I haven't tried is taking it for a drive.
What's it going to hurt?
I'm hoping that's what fixes this one, because it's going to have a 7-hour drive to Kansas City and then another 6-hour drive back from Kansas City to home. So I'm hoping it gets a good drive in and it just wants to eat when it gets here.
And it's starting talking.
Maybe that's why my
Right.
Go for a drive all the time.
Mm-hmm. Go for a drive.
Oh, it gives them the illusion that they traveled.
They like to go bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Like, and having some stuff on hand, like whether you're using ReptiBoost, Da Vinci Boa, any of those things are good things to have on hand. But like, at the end of the day, like I'll be honest, like I keep seeing these situations where it's people have just starved their snakes, and it's always like it always ends up being multiple snakes at a time, and I'm like, I know y'all have like a friend that likes snakes out there. Why were you not calling for help earlier?
Yeah.
Well, and the problem is people have gotten so used to people running them down, especially on those Facebook groups and shit, that they're afraid to ask for help because they're afraid they'll be ridiculed and things like that. But hey, I respect somebody a lot more if they say, "Hey, I need somebody to take these because I can't afford it. I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah." I would rather you say that than to, "Oh, it died because of so and so," you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, just if you're in that kind of situation, like, I get it. I get that sometimes, like, when you bought your animals, you had all the money in the world, and then you lost your job, something happened, disaster came, like, those things happen. It's okay to ask for help. Like, I know Facebook makes it seem like the entire reptile community is assholes, but for the most part, we're a bunch of freaking nerds that love animals.
Yeah.
Like,
we're a bunch of, I maybe speaking for myself, but reptile keepers generally are a bunch of introverts that sit and research and hang out with their pets of any type, rats, snakes, whatever you have. But
my favorite place to be, like, if people are like, "Hey, Stacey, you want to go hang out?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm super busy. I'm sitting in my reptile room doing absolutely nothing, but I'm super busy."
You don't have to lie.
in a world full of people, I'd rather hang out with my snakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that crazy.
My snakes don't judge me. They don't bitch at me. They don't gripe at me. I mean, they do when I first open the tub. They're like, "Hey, where's the food?" But after that, it's all right.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's judging because I have rats pulled out in the room right now because everyone's eating tonight.
Well, a lot of people don't stop and realize, though, when they're dealing with that food scenario, is they don't try different things. They don't try to figure out what they're doing wrong. 99% of the time, it's something you're doing that you have to figure it out. It could be temp, it could be humidity, it could be enclosure size. God forbid there's a piece of wood chip in there that they don't like. And
he's not lying about that. He's not lying about that.
It's literally the smallest thing that can cause the biggest problem.
Yeah.
The ones that always worry me is when they're like something other than ball python. When like boas, when someone messages me and they're like, "My boa's been off food for 4 months."
That's
scary.
I'm like, hold on.
They usually pound food.
Your boa's been off food for 4 months? I'm like, my boa's been off food for 1 day and she's already convinced she's starving.
Right.
Like,
It's usually an hour after they eat, they're still starving.
Mom, I'm dying. I need food.
I'm like, you don't eat for 3 weeks. Chill.
Boas, retics. Yeah, if they're turning down food, that's a bad visit.
I wouldn't mind getting a boa. It's got to be a black.
Unless they're in shed. That's the only thing I've come across that I've had a couple that won't eat in shed. But even then, most of my retics and boas, they're eating in shed.
Yeah. All of ours eat in shed. I'm trying to think if any of them didn't. The only time we've had boas that didn't eat were rescue animals. and they were bad situations. Like, came in, didn't think they were going to make it level situation, you know? Like, we're like, I don't think we're making it through the night to get to the vet in the morning. I think this is it.
What is y'all's tips and tricks on having food ready babies?
Food ready? Like always eat?
Yeah, like come out of the egg and they are striky and ready. Because I ain't had a clutch yet that I haven't had to assist feed multiple. My last clutch of 9, I had one eat its first meal out of 9. I had to assist feed 8 meals.
What are you doing for your first meal?
Live ASF fuzzies.
Try a rat.
Try live rat or live mouse.
These
Do
babies
ASFs move around a lot? We don't have ASFs,
so ASFs at fuzzies don't move around a lot. Their eyes are I don't do mice.
What we do,
I use little mice because they move everywhere. They're always on the move.
I've tried brown paper bags.
you should never have to use
small
big
hopper mice. Yep.
Yeah.
Try.
When I pick up mice, I'm like, I want whatever ones look like the squirreliest ones you have. Those are the ones I want for the new babies.
And then I'm the one that puts them in.
If they got crazy eyes, they'll
I
work.
always lose mice. This is why we can't keep them. This is why we don't keep mice, because every time I bring a mouse in here, I lose it.
Yeah, I have one snake. I buy 10 mice at a time for. She's 200 grams. Gave me 9 eggs. They're the ones that I'm in there fighting with.
So it sounds like
she only eats mice. And I pick them up. She'll eat 4 at a time. She's 32. When she went gravid, she was 3,600 grams. Only eating jumbo mice.
So, little trick for you can try. Take the bedding, put a rat in there.
Mm-hmm.
Try that. Do a smaller rat, though, so it's not so big and it scares her. Because God forbid something bigger just looks at her and they run away.
I'm worried. I don't have a rat. Even pinkies. I mean, there's 6 of them that are under 55 grams. The smallest being 44.
So you got to catch them pretty quick then when they're
I got to catch. I mean, pinkies. Yeah, I got to catch them like day of.
Another trick you can try, especially we try frozen thawed right away because we do have some that eat frozen thawed. So we'll
that's the only thing. That's one thing I have not done. I have not tried frozen thawed off the get-go.
We do that if they don't take a frozen thawed, which sometimes they do. If they don't take that, we'll try it live and open meal. Yeah. If that don't work, then we do a mouse hopper.
Yeah.
You can also take those small ones and do a pre-kill and start your acting career.
Yeah, the rat dance.
Start acting like you do the rat dance.
Yeah, I'm working on my rat dance, perfected by Brian. I went and got me a gas. I built me a gas setup to start humanely euthanizing for all my larger stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm working on my rat dance. I don't have the wrist flick, but I'm working on it.
What
it comes with practice. It comes with practice.
You have to sing the rat dance song while you're doing it.
You have to.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen.
That goes.
Too far.
So I got a quick question on all this because one thing I had heard was, if you can't find anything size appropriate, chop up a large rat tail.
Yeah, I told you that.
Yeah, for
does that work at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
For assist feeding, yeah.
Okay.
It works great. It's a lot easier to assist than a rat.
For assist feeding, it works. But as far, I just freaked out because I saw a rat pit. I just told y'all that I have rats sitting out, and I turned over my head over, saw a rat out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, why the hell is there a rat?
Well, RC, also doing the rat dance, they don't always like them moving. they could be very shy even as hatchlings, and you might just have to leave it in there and walk away.
I
I've
have.
got my Colombian rainbow, my Annery Colombian rainbow. I have to just drop it and go.
Yeah, my
They're
my
terrified
banana
of the
male.
tongue. They don't like the tongue.
Yeah,
My
they can
banana
see.
male, when I first got it, I had to empty its water bowl, flip the water bowl upside down, and then lay the rat on the top like a serving platter, and then close the tub. Wait 15 minutes, come back, and that thing's gone.
Oh, so that's
Now he takes it off the tongue.
It fell over.
He was bougie when I first got him.
So I've had so many that eat different ways. I think Courtney's still in here. She has she has Thor, and Thor, a ball python that thought he was a cobra. It was really important that he is able to rear up, act like a cobra, and you bring the rat up to him and then run it down on the ground, and he can dive down at it. And if you don't treat him exactly that way, he doesn't.
He'll go off food from us.
Like when she bought him, I sent her a video. I was like, okay, this is what he looks like. And then I wrote up the instructions as well. I was like,
And we also
Yeah.
told her
Left,
that
right, circle, square, triangle.
yeah.
Hey, Caring is asking about them being overheated or overcooked. You don't want to
No.
try overheated and overcooked
Oh.
because they're just going to kind of explode.
Yeah, you'll know if you overheated real quick, and you'll
Yeah.
regret all of your life choices.
Yeah.
That is exactly why
That's
we
why-
use really hot water.
Mhm.
That's why I like that Suve vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Doesn't
started
work
to
in
eat
farm.
a lot of them, except some of my snakes are bougie, and if the rats are wet, they won't eat them.
Mine
Yeah.
is they will
Yeah,
not.
Sam, some good rat soup.
I use a sous vide at 106 degrees. I do my piglets, my rats. I do them all 106
Yeah.
degrees.
Is
Yeah,
that
hot water.
machine for feeders then?
The what?
Huh?
The machine to sous vide them strictly for feeders then?
Yeah.
Okay, because it grosses me out.
No.
I've heard people say, "Oh,
Wait a
we use
minute.
it anyway."
No, I bought it. It remains in. So I have a 3-gallon like plastic bucket from Home Depot,
Mhm.
and it stays with that. I bought it for the sole reason
Well,
of rats. I'm
I
not cooking a steak and then rats.
I
Ice
love
cream
it.
bucket.
I sew mine in the plastic bag, so I could technically still use it for other things because it never touches the rat soup.
That's
No,
fine.
it's too
That's
close.
fine. I'm here for it. I'll still come over and have
Ice
dinner at
cream
your house.
buckets, then you don't have to
you
worry.
want soup?
You're gonna sous vide what you're cooking in a plastic bag too, so it'll never touch the water.
Yeah. There's always the chance. Look, condoms don't work 99.99% either. I'm not.
Well, we now know why you're here.
I was here because the IUD fell out.
Close enough. That's just as bad.
Fine.
See, when a mommy loves a daddy, and wrong live. Sorry.
Oops.
Snakes and birds and the bees 101.
No, yeah, I think I paid like $65 for mine online, and the reason I do it the way I do it is because I saw Riker's reptiles do it the same way, and I was like, man, that is genius, because I'm trying to keep stuff warm and walk from the kitchen where the warm water is to my racks, and that's
Heck, didn't you
I'm
get
not
one of those?
rushed. I can take my
I got-
time.
I got mine for $13 on an auction site. Brand
Listen,
spanking new. Yeah.
Mine was like I went bougie. I think I spent like $80 on mine.
That's what they are.
I was over here tripping out because ADHD brain over here, you like switch to like condoms don't work all the time, and then I come back and you're like $65. I'm like, there's probably $65 condoms out there.
They're
Gotta be
big, man.
bougie in every way, apparently.
Those had better be guaranteed.
No, they're diamond
That better be
encrusted.
100%.
Sorry, dude. I'm
Covered
just
in
trying
gold.
to get over it.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah, like
the whole new meaning. Never mind. I better not say that.
Yep, let's not go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna now.
Listen,
Keep it Pete,
like I
G.
said, I was okay with this live doing whatever we did tonight because I just wasn't feeling the,
I
like
get
I
it.
said, I was having a bad week. I'm like, so we're just going to change topics and we're going to.
Oh, what the carrying?
What? Oh, Carrie. No.
Yeah.
That seems highly ineffective.
They used to use it in ancient.
Don't forget to go buy Wingstop.
I'm not.
Oh,
Sorry.
crunchy and scaly. Oh.
I went to a reptile expo last weekend,
Uh-huh.
and I came home with rats,
That's what I'm doing this weekend.
5 rats, just rats. Well, I got two water bowls, a hook, and 2 rats.
Repticon's on our anniversary this year,
Should
so.
How old is she?
We started doing rats, and after
I was gonna
talk,
say,
we
wait a minute,
we
two.
decided we're going to do a pet line. I've already sold pets.
I'll
So
do
we got
2.
a gray and white jumbo, and then a black masked white one.
Uh-huh.
And
Squirrel.
come here, cutie.
What the heck are
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say, back then you just did that.
Aw. She's fuzzy.
This is what we used on my honeymoon. Oh, no.
Whoa,
This is,
is that a thermos?
no, that's that Seuss Vide thing or whatever.
Yeah, I remember you showing that.
I'm just gonna point out that
What it's showing on screen,
It was almost
first
believable.
thing that I saw.
The other one has a store name on it, so TikTok will get mad. So
Tom.
yeah.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was the mouse, and I heard we used this on our honeymoon. I was like, whoa!
Oh, whoa.
And then he holds up the pipe and the bottle of soap.
One way to keep the motor running warm.
Welcome to Breeders Roundtable After Dark, everyone. Hope you signed up for this one.
Everybody's just half in the bag.
Yeah. No. But yeah, like, and I mean, I think like we're up here talking about all of like these different ways that we feed, different creative things all of us do, right? Everyone does something a little bit different. And then there's random people out there, the motherfuckers not feeding the goddamn snakes. And
How do you not?
Look at them. How
do you
could
forget? Do you forget that you had snakes? Like, did you?
It's once a week.
That's
Or
like
once
having a kid
10
and
days
neglecting
or
your
14
kid.
days, depending on
Yeah.
your animal. Like,
It's
how do you? It's mind blowing.
It's the easiest animal in the world to take care of. Once you set them up, like I'm always like, getting them set up, sure. But past that, like, these are easy
another
animals.
thing you got to look at too is like we said earlier, you gotta watch who you take advice from, because I've actually gotten some snakes from a guy that were underfed because the person he got them from said, "Oh, I only feed these guys once a month."
Mm-hmm.
And so he's had them for a year and only fed them 12 times.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. So I got those snakes, and every one of them was just starving to death.
It's like feeding your kid a fruit snack once a month.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
infuriating.
Infuriating.
Yeah, that one. When I pick up a snake and they're like, I've been having trouble getting it to eat, and I bring it home and I drop a rodent and it eats in seconds. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean that you have had trouble? You didn't try. That's what that just told me.
Yep.
You didn't
Yep.
try. You
Well,
said, "Oh well,
and-
frozen thawed didn't work, so I'm gonna just wait and see when it gets hungry enough to eat."
Or would I pick up, say, like 14-month-old snake that weighs 200 grams, because it wasn't one of their holdbacks.
Yeah,
Well,
maintenance feeding infuriates me. These breeders that maintenance feed, just they should not be doing this.
Listen, anytime I've gotten a snake that it ended up being way smaller than it was supposed to be, and the breeder didn't have an explanation when it showed up, like if they were like, "Oh, well, I've had the wrong date," or "Oh, actually, the snake hasn't eaten for so long, I should have put that in the ad," any of those things, I'll just write them right on a freaking list of like never buying from them again. Because now I have to solve their problem.
I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't know how you maintenance feed a ball python. I'm feeding I'm feeding appropriate size. How do you? You're starving your snake. It's not maintenance feeding. You're starving your animal.
Maybe we stop calling it maintenance feeding and just call it starvation.
Neglect.
Like let's just call it what it is. Like
don't hand me a mail.
Feeding sounds pretty. Like that's a very PR scripted word that is out there. Like
agreed.
Yeah, I'm like
hand me a male that's a year old. You go to a show and you see a male pick up and you're like, oh, what's the hatch date? And you're like, oh, it's a year old. And like, this snake is 250 grams. It should be reproducing at 500, 600 grams. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm like, that's not a. You're telling me this is a year-old snake? Come on now.
Yeah.
So another thing that people need to realize, because we get on here a lot and talk about, well, it's super easy to feed live, yada yada. You don't just drop a live one in there and just leave it and then check them the next day.
No.
I can figure out a way to post up.
I feed live, but no tub closes until the rodent is unalive.
Yep, you keep eyes on the situation coiled, always.
Even coiled,
yeah.
You can.
I've got my tongs ready because they could bite while they're coiled up, and I keep my tongs ready to stick in their mouth to pull their head away from it so they can't bite the snake while they're coiled.
Absolutely.
Like
anything bigger than a fuzzy, you really don't want to risk that thing biting your snake.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, especially, okay, so let's put it very breeder specific and go to even talking to just the people that for some reason came into this for simply money, right? All you care about is money.
Yep.
Long reasons to be in the hobby, in my opinion, but let's just go there. So
I used to care about money in this hobby, but then I got over it real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so you have an investment animal that you're willing to drop another animal that could unalive your investment in with it and walk away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just keep eyes on it. If you came
the
in
rat
and
chewed on my snake, and I have no idea why.
I have something.
Yeah.
I actually get calls really frequently about feeding the proper size and how often to feed for different snakes. Apparently, a lot of people misunderstand how often to feed a baby ball python versus an adult, or a baby colubrid versus an adult colubrid, or et cetera, et cetera. So they're sticking to, say, 2 weeks. Like somebody told me, oh, I feed my ball pythons every 2 weeks. So they'll give their baby, like this big, a pinky every 2 weeks. And it just like goes over their head. No matter how much I explain to them, I'll check in like a month later. I'm like, have you been feeding them, say, twice a week? Because it's included. And they're like, oh, I've done it once a week. I'm like, your baby's this big. It's this big. You're wanting 3 to 4 days between feeding, usually.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I was told I only have to feed it once a week. And that's the part that bothers me the most. It's just they don't seem to understand or want to understand how to properly feed their snakes.
And you have to adjust as the snake ages, as the snake gets bigger. Like, you do have to keep learning about the animal that you have, right?
Right.
Like, the animal that you bought as a hatchling grows up, and then you have to take care of an adult animal. And so these changes, like, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to look it up, to do very, very basic research. we're always happy to answer questions for people and that kind of stuff. But also, like, all of us are walking around with cell phones. Google is there.
Yeah.
Or whatever search engine you want to use. I don't care if people don't like Google. It's whatever.
Duck,
you know?
go.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever one happens to be on your phone.
Well, you know what I do, and it may not be what everybody else does, but it works for me. When my babies, as soon as they start eating, I offer food every 5 days till they're 200 grams, and then I switch to 7 days.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but I do 250 grams.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different way of doing it, but I want them to gain a good amount of weight right off the bat, so that if something happens and they do stop eating for a month or two, they're not so susceptible to they've got a little weight on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If a baby is available for sale and being sold, it shouldn't be on a 5-day schedule. Never a pinky. Yeah, and we don't start with pinkies. Is where, like, we don't start. We'll do with the frozen. Even we're not doing pinkies to start. We're always bigger than pinkies with the ball pythons. We at least want some kind of fur on them. Like, it doesn't have to be a ton, but sorry.
I use pinkies to assist, and that's all I use pinkies for.
That's why we keep pinkies on hand, is just for assist feeding.
Yep.
Yeah, the only reason I keep them for assist. And I got a corn and Vietnamese blue beauties, but yeah, nothing else eats pinky.
I keep like extra small pinky mice because I have a spoon boa that is literally as big as my pinky.
That's how my corn snake is. She's like a damn coffee straw.
Yeah, like I'm working
but no doubt my most ferocious eater. She kills my retics. I open that drawer on feed day and she puts my retics to shame. She's nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like, I don't know how we can, and I'm saying we as like reptile hobby in general, right? Like, I'm not calling any one person out, any of that, but like the hobby in general. Like, how do we get to a point where people are feeling more comfortable reaching out and saying, hey, I'm having trouble. I don't have the money to.
Sorry.
That was a very exciting sound.
When people stop bashing, when people who are uneducated and uninformed quit coming in and telling us that we're horrible people and disgusting, and when it becomes more cool to hype somebody up or to reach out and snatch somebody up and stick them under your wing than to allow somebody to fail miserably. Because I think that's what happens with a lot of these animals, these rescues and these starving snakes. Is people get them and they're really excited about them, and then they got some bad information, or they had one bad experience and didn't have somebody there to inform them that it was just one bad experience or how to bounce back from that experience. And then they just forgot about that animal. It's one, if you got a dog and that dog bites you, or, some people don't have what it takes to go back and put your hand back in that tub and be, there.
So,
unfortunately,
go ahead, Ozark. Sorry.
Unfortunately, snakes are the Christmas puppies of the reptile world. Ball pythons are, anyway.
Yeah.
They get them as a gift, and they're all excited about it, and then something happens, and baseball starts, and all of a sudden they just forget they have a snake.
Mm-hmm.
It just sits on their dresser.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's like, it kind of comes down to, at what point is it that people need to stop being assholes when people are reaching out? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Like, is it that simple? If people aren't assholes, will more people reach out for help when it's needed?
Well, that kind of comes down to like the whole Facebook scenario.
Oh yeah.
Anybody does one thing on a Facebook page, you get lit up by people that don't
have no idea what they're talking about,
but they act like they do.
The other day, we were looking for an ultrasound, and we posted up on, or Tom posted up on the Morph Market page asking if anyone knew a good place to buy the KX 5600. Yeah, so he posted that up on Morph Market, and then I saw that he had posted asking a question on the Morph Market Facebook page, and I was like, babe, get that post down right now. Everyone is about to chew you out for asking a question. And he's like, why? He's like, I'm just trying to figure out where stuff is. I'm like, because people are assholes. I'm like, just take it down.
Yeah, you mean you're breeding ball pythons without an ultrasound machine? You're horrible.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Blasphemy.
I'm like, nah, go. I'm like, no. I'm like, we don't ask questions in Facebook groups. That's a rule. I'm like,
that's a big rule.
Do not ask questions. I'm like, he's like, I'm just looking. And he's like, yeah.
5 minutes goes by. I see why you said that now.
Huh?
Said 5 minutes goes by and he walks back in the room. Yeah, I see why you said that now.
Oh, yeah. As soon as it went live, some people were like, well, Google's free. I was like, yeah, I do know that. I was hoping that maybe someone had a recommendation for something of a good place to look, but it's fine.
Right.
He just pulled it down. He's like,
Bad thing. The bad thing about it is people say stuff to you on Facebook. They never say it to your face.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm like, just
Yep.
if you want to be an asshole on Facebook, I expect you to be an asshole in person. And if you're not, then I'm disappointed.
Right.
I wish so desperately on here, like when they comment, you just, hey, I'm just gonna start inviting all the people who just talk trash. I'm just gonna invite them. Come on in my life. Let's have a conversation. No, don't come in, talk shit, and then bounce. That's not what we're here for. I'm here to educate. You are obviously ill-informed.
It's the typical keyboard warriors that act like Karens that don't know anything. But when it comes down to it, they'll turn around and run away if you're right in their face.
Yeah. I think in general, like most of the people in here kind of have the rule that if you're in my live, go ahead and ask questions. I will try to answer them. Like sometimes if a live goes wild and there's too many questions coming in, you don't get to everything. We're all human, But I don't see it as much. At least over here, I don't see as much like bashing when people ask questions. I see a lot more like, yeah, go ahead, please ask.
Yeah, the comments light up. I think for some reason this is just a more welcoming environment, and I don't know if it's because there's a more personal attachment because you can see the people live. You can. I don't know. I don't know why this platform seems more welcoming. Or maybe it's not the platform. Maybe it's just the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope that
we're pretty tight knit. I see all of the same names, and we know when a new name comes in regularly, so we're very close. And I think that allows people to feel comfortable as well because they see that we're all comfortable and talking, and that we're just real people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would hope that some of you guys, if you ever heard me being facetious or mean or rude to somebody who didn't deserve it, you would call me out on it because and I hope that you guys wouldn't get upset with me if I said, "Hey, man, that was a little much there," But I mean, not being mean about it or rude about it to the other person, but just say, "Hey, that was a little uncalled for," because it only takes one person in this whole group to screw the whole group up.
Yeah, like I think that's an okay thing to do, especially for people who are like sitting out there publicly talking about their animals and stuff. If we notice each other like doing something and making themselves look bad, like, hey man, just kind of checking in, want to check you here a little bit because, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Having a
and
bad day there, bud?
and
And
that doesn't mean that they're attacking you. Like, that would just be a, hey, like, everything good? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
but I also
You know?
think that we would all do that with tact. That would not be
Yeah.
something, that would not be something that would be done in a live. It would be done through a private message or a text or a phone call.
Or a call or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know that, and that's just out of respect. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm doing something or you see me doing something or I say something that is incorrect because I'm misinformed, please correct me. I don't want to put out bad information.
Yep.
I don't want to do the wrong thing and inform people of the wrong thing. You know, I want to help people. So,
Yeah, and it's real easy. Like, if it's not something that's harmful in that moment, it's just like, hey, this is actually kind of incorrect. Maybe you should look into this. Shoot people a DM.
I noticed that you were doing this. I've done this in the past, and it has helped with me. You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't have to be, hey, you're doing this wrong. It can be presented as an option.
Yeah.
Because some people just don't have those. Some people don't know any other thing.
Well, see, and that's the best teacher's experience, whether it's yours or somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like
That's
most
twice
people,
you bit my finger. You and me are going to puzzle.
Let's do it one
Stop
more
putting
time.
your finger in there.
One more.
I'm standing next to my rat rag, and I have my hand here.
I
and
do the
I'm
same
finger.
damn thing. I do the same damn thing, and it's my fault because I know better to put my damn hand there.
That's twice.
So I know it's 9 o'clock, and I usually try to keep these to an hour so everyone can get back to doing their own lives and doing their own things and stuff. Yeah. But
Tom
No.
wants to get back to his shows.
yeah, Tom wants to get back to his shows. I haven't cried in nearly 4 hours, so I'm really doing good today. But I really appreciate y'all coming up here and like having this discussion, like getting into some of those issues. I think that, like, starting with the UPS stuff, I think we're going to see where that goes. It's interesting. I don't have any hard feelings on it other than interest. And then, but as far as like all the rescue situations and stuff, for anyone that's like in the comments right now or anything like that, like, please reach out before your animals are on death's door. Like,
My information is on Instagram. A lot of these guys' information's on Instagram. It's on here. Don't hesitate to holler at us because we're here to help more than anything else.
yeah.
I got empty racks. If you need
Yeah.
help,
I
if you
always
need
have
help,
space.
even if it's just you're in a temporary situation, you know, not all the time is it permanent. You know, reach out.
Well, everybody
That's right.
goes through a hard time.
Like, there's always a risk of hurricanes coming. You don't think that I've never had to reach out to someone and be like, hey, if I need to evacuate, can I bring my animals to you? Like, you.
I can put together 30 tubs right now.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Tacboss is asking to come up a moment.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was up.
I
He
didn't
was.
too.
He just.
He dropped.
Yeah, I can get you up for just a second, and then we'll end it. Sorry, I wasn't even seeing a request there. That was
I'm
weird.
sorry.
Sorry.
My phone died. I wanted to make a suggestion real quick concerning some stuff we've talked about. I think it would be great if we could organize a little bit on here and maybe come up with some lists as far as who can we contact for help with, we need to evacuate. Who can we call or who can we contact in reference to we're having problems because we've got 16 rescues and no way to pay all the vet bills, but they're going to die if we don't take them, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't think it'd be hard, having a spreadsheet or something that we could put together.
Something like that. We usually come together as a
We
community.
need a map of the United States and just start dropping pins where people are and
Yep.
what comes up. Hey, I got this guy.
I
He's
could-
in OKC. I got this guy. He's in Cali. I got,
I
we were
can start
actually
doing that with the
about this today.
Google map if you're interested. I mean, if everybody's interested in doing it, I can
Yes.
start doing that with a Google map.
It's
I'm in.
hard.
Yeah. We were talking about this today because, we were exploring the idea of doing for the rescue portion of stuff we do, doing a 501c3 so that we can get discounts on vet bills to really help out with that. We're not there yet, and I'm not going to say that it's going to go there, and just it's something we've talked about. But I was like, wouldn't it be so much better if we just had names and numbers of people in different locations all across the country versus just, I'm like, because we can't do everything ourselves. I'm like, I can take in a rescue snake at a time. Like that's where, what I can do to safely quarantine.
Okay. I'll be reaching
What's
out to
the
people
deal?
this weekend to get phone numbers and names.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely put our stuff on the list. We're more than happy to, like, if we just had a list like that, I think it would be so much easier. And at least then we know, like, oh, someone's on here saying I need to get rid of a snake. They live out here. Oh, look, I have someone that lives out there. I'll give them a call.
Actually, what I'll do is I'll get names and email addresses. If you guys want to give out your phone number, you guys can give out your phone number. That way, not everybody has your phone number.
I'll put mine on there.
Not just reptile rescues, but
Questions.
like what happened
Geckos.
with Bleeding Moon. He lost his entire, or he had a fire in his rat shed. And they never. So wherever
In
we
worst
can
case
help.
scenario, we do have a full rack open. So worst case scenario, we could take in a full rack of reptiles at a time. But we usually say one at a time because if they're coming from different places and everything half of what we end up taking in, other rescues turn down because they're sick. And so I can't take in a reptile that's sick and a reptile from another location and put them in a quarantine together because I'm going to have both of them sick then.
Yeah,
So,
I'm the same way. I'm situationally dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally can't take anything in just because that's a lot at risk that I'd be taking.
Yeah. We have the benefit of his parents' house. Well, who don't own reptiles, but will let us quarantine there. So, that helps a lot. But, okay, I know, it's time. Tom's like, come on, it's past time. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. So, I think if we start with, send information over to Ozark, and then I'll help you organize that as well, Ozark. Or maybe
everybody blow up Ozark right after.
Yeah, everyone
just
has to
do it on
just
do it on Instagram because I won't get it on TikTok. I get a million notifications on TikTok every day, so I won't ever see it.
Yeah. So head over to Ozark's Instagram, follow him, and then
blow it up.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much. Thanks for being willing to change the subject on the fly. And next week we will do incubation. So I promise we are going to do that topic. So anyone that really wanted to talk incubation, we will. I just needed to have something different tonight.
That's fair.
And really appreciate everyone who reached out about our dog. I love you guys. You're amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being up here. It was good to see you. I will catch you guys next time. I don't have a cool something to say as I'm leaving. So bye.
Later.
Bye. Have a good one.